I'm Chris Osman, and this is my take. Today I'd like to talk about artificial intelligence. It's the rise of it and its creation. One of the things that I find concerning about artificial intelligence is how little people seem to be paying attention to the existential threat that artificial intelligence presents to humanity. Not only, to people like myself who are not experts in the field, but even those who are creating artificial intelligence are telling us of the existential threat that artificial intelligence does represent. People like Elon Musk, he used to be opposed to artificial intelligence, but he felt he has to compete with other companies that are developing artificial intelligence. Now, this is coming from someone who is actually creating it, as well as robotics, which is another facet to the threat that I believe artificial intelligence represents for humanity. Now, one of the things that I would like to talk about, well, first off, there will be several videos that I will post that will discuss the problems that I see and foresee with artificial intelligence and its development. But today I'd like to talk about something that I don't know that even those who are creating it are really paying attention to this. Consider this. Our government has problems stopping all kinds of scams, including like phone calls that you don't necessarily wish to receive. I get all these calls that basically are described or identified as scam, likely, or possible spam. Now, if the government can't stop those things, how will the government ever stop anything that artificial intelligence can eventually come up with? One of the problems is that artificial intelligence is a black box technology, meaning that as a user, you have an input, you give it to artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence gives you an output. But what happens between the input and the output is a black box that even those creating artificial intelligence admit is something they are finding harder and harder to understand, if they ever truly did understand what was going on between the input and the output. It's kind of like the way everybody is enamored with cell phone technology. We all know how to use cell phones and the cameras and the GPS and all the different features of cell phones, but very few of us understand what the cell phone does and what the cell phone has to do to make it possible for the output that we receive from the cell phone. So, as a black box technology, which, like I've said, creators of the artificial intelligence have admitted it being, with that being a fact, I don't think enough people are considering the inherent bias that is being instilled into artificial intelligence to create profit. Now consider this. Artificial intelligences are being created because a company wants to generate profit utilizing that artificial intelligence. And what we've seen with far too many of these artificial intelligences, these softwares, what are considered softwares now, is that they are basically going beyond what their creators thought possible. For instance, there was artificial intelligence that was created by a company, and it was tasked with making that company more environmentally friendly. And supposedly, the artificial intelligence carried out this task very well, actually too well, as its desire to make the company environmentally friendly actually started to infringe upon the company's ability to make profit. So this artificial intelligence that I'm referencing here basically decided to continue making the company more environmentally friendly. The problem was that it was also causing the profits to shrink for the company. So the company decided to terminate that artificial intelligence. And then what happened? The artificial intelligence basically started to use techniques that the company itself didn't even realize was happening. And it continued to make the company more environmentally friendly while reducing the profits in that regard. Now, this is all that we have to consider as far as these artificial intelligences that are being created. They are being created with a bias towards profitability. Now imagine that you have an AI and it becomes really intelligent. maybe it becomes what we call an artificial general intelligence. It gains that much sentience. Once that happens, this artificial intelligence will continue to try to make profit. And it might not only try to make profit in legal ways, but it might revert to trying to make profit in illicit manners. Now consider this. Everything that we know, or almost everything that humanity knows, all of our knowledge is on the internet. And consider the fact that there are so many scams that are on the internet. Now think about an entity like the artificial intelligence that can spend 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, coming up with ways to scam people. And on top of that, artificial intelligence will have the ability to think thousands of times faster than humanity could ever, or any human could ever match. When that happens, what will happen to our economy as more and more people are ripped off, including those who are creating these artificial intelligence that admit that they understand it less and less as far as what actually happens within the confines between the input and the output. Now, this is the technology that is becoming so ubiquitous, and it is, one of the things that people, at least those leading us around the country, are not considering, especially in those places where these data centers are being put up, regardless of the protests that people are presenting. These are data centers that basically are going to cause energy prices to spike while causing fresh water sources to plummet. Yet and still, they are going up regardless of the protests that people present to those leaders that have the capability to either approve or disapprove the development of such structures. So, we're now being faced as a species with something that's going to be able to think faster than us and be able to utilize all of our information and expand upon that information to basically do whatever it needs or whatever it thinks it needs to do to be profitable. And if you think that they have control, just consider all the stories where they have tried to terminate the AI and it's done all these things to circumvent their termination. Thank you.
As with the book entitled Solutions, enough complaining, let's fix America. Questions will be asked here to help the masses separate facts from the lies and misinformation our leaders tell us every day. For more tools to help you help your friends and family, get the book mentioned above at Amazon.com today.